And welcome back to another High Performance Living Touchcast. And this week's topic is professionalism. And professionalism is one of those things where here at High Performance Living is not just about your success in business, but is how you handle yourself all the rest of the time. Yep. So earlier on the blog this week, we posted the question of how do you define success? And success is really not that one thing of being successful in just business or how much money that you make. So points week to kind of look at how we define success.
Yep. So first thing we want to think about with defining success is it's not just strictly about the money. Right. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, that's the one thing. And most people define success by how much money am I making, how much money's in my bank account. The material things, and it's not just about just the things that are money related.
Nope. Definitely not. So, money is necessary, but maybe not the end-all, be-all.
Right.
So, associated with that, we talked about there's different levels of success. So you can have really big successes or really small successes, and potentially celebrating some of those little successes that you might have every day.
Exactly. For some people, it takes so long to reach what they consider a success. So, how much money you have in the bank, as we were saying, but it's really about your daily successes. How do you handle yourself on a daily basis? What do you, are you successful with your family? Are you successful with just how you carry yourself?
Yep. And I know with a lot of the veterinary colleagues I have, particularly students or people that are still in a portion of their education, you look at your success as, okay, when I finally get into vet school or when I finally graduate or finally pass boards, those are all things that are great, but don't look only so far in advance. Make sure you're giving yourself some reason to be successful in a more regular fashion as well.
Right.
I guess spurring off of that a little bit, the next thing we want to talk about is being successful does not require that you have an advanced education. Right. So I happen to have an advanced professional degree, but I think even without that, I could have been successful, and I think that's something for people to think about.
Absolutely. Some of the greatest business minds ever have actually come from people that have not finished college. Mm-hmm. So, you can look at Steve Jobs, who obviously was considered one of the most successful, and he had not completed college, so it does not require that advanced degree. Although sometimes the people that have those advanced degrees are the ones that get stuck in thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Yep. So just be aware that education is important. We think you need to be able to communicate with yourself and other people, but don't necessarily hang your hat on, I have to have that piece of paper to feel like I've succeeded. So the next little point that we wanted to bring up when you're thinking about being successful is using information that you already know or using things that you're already knowledgeable about.
Right, exactly. So you can be very an expert in a field or an area, some things that you know about. It can be something that's even a hobby, and you can turn that into a successful career as well.
Yep. And then the last thing we want to talk about is don't always consider that it has to be about work. So there are successes outside of the work realm.
Yeah. And daily life. So, everything from how you get up in the morning. So we've talked about that on some of the previous podcasts or touchcasts with the, how you sleep, but how do you get up in the morning and how do you set yourself up for success? So I think that's a really important, everything from, again, how do you handle yourself in public? How do people see you? And that is a big portion of success.
Yep, and you need to think about, again, just the whole encompassing idea of life, not just successful in work or successful in personal life, just being successful and being happy with what you do and how you're doing it, because that will show.
Yep, absolutely. So, obviously you can hit us up on the blog and onto the website. So go over to highperfliving.com and you can enter your information there. We'll get back with you if you're interested in a consult. So definitely follow us on our Tumblr blog. We've got all kinds of great information on there as well.
Yep.
So until next week, we will see you later.
Thank you. Have a great week.